Hello, my name is Melanie Bahlo. I'm a laboratory head and theme leader at the Walton Eliza Hall Institute of Medical Research in Melbourne, Australia. And we are working on a project funded by MJFF on utilization of something called mitochondrial copy number and its role as a biomarker for Parkinson's disease. And the project also has a second aim, which is to look at the role of particular type of genetic mutation called repeat expansions and its role, its potential role in Parkinson's disease. My work is concerned with analysis of data. So my lab runs what's called a computational biology lab. Parkinson's disease is a really complicated genetic disorder. Well, it has a strong genetic component to it. And my work is about utilizing very large data resources to try and tease apart the complexity in Parkinson's disease. We know different patients with Parkinson's disease have different genetic risk factors and drivers, and it's important to tease those factors apart because the therapies that need to be developed are going to be targeted at particular genetic drivers. In order to help people with PD, we really need to understand what's driving the disease in each patient. And that's what we're trying to do in this project. We have some thoughts about what some of these drivers might be and some measures by which we can detect particular Parkinson's disease people who are different. And if we can identify those people, then we have a better chance of developing therapy, at least for those subsets of people who carry those specific markers or measures of markers. In science, it's really important that your work gets published and put out in the public domain, in particular amongst other scientists that are your peers, so they can evaluate your work to see that you're on the right track. It's called peer review. And we are currently writing up 2 pieces of work from our project with initial results. So the work on the mitochondrial copy number, we think has only limited potential. That's because we figured out some things from the data sets that we're working on that outline that it's not going to have as much utility as we thought. That's okay. These are a negative finding is also important, so other people don't pursue that road. And then the other finding we've made, I think, some really interesting findings that really do outline that there are a number of individuals, not a large number, but a number of individuals who've been given the diagnosis of Parkinson's disease who may actually have similar diseases that are actually not Parkinson's disease, but are driven by very, very clear genetic risk factors for diseases that have a lot of overlap in their diagnostic criteria or symptoms with PD. And that's an important finding because work on some of those diseases have already progressed further and in a way is a simpler explanation or solution to the causes of PD in what is a small subset of the PD patients. My research is concerned with identifying genetic risk factors, drivers of Parkinson's disease, which is a very complicated, complex neurological disorder. So my work can identify some groups of patients who have specific types of genetic drivers. And it's really important to identify what's driving Parkinson's disease in each Parkinson's disease patient. Because the development of therapies for Parkinson's disease will break down to or will entail developing therapies for specific causes of PD rather than PD as a whole. And so it's really important to understand what's causing PD in each patient. Now, my work at the moment will only answer that for a small subset of patients who have specific genetic mutations that we are expert in identifying. My work spans a lot of different diseases, and so I was able to actually contribute my lab's expertise to the Parkinson's disease effort through this very specific grant that we got, which was targeted at people who work in my area, which is computational biology. So the grant was awarded for a reanalysis of existing data. So without this grant, my lab would not be working in Parkinson's disease as they are now. This is our first foray into PD. So in effect, my lab's been recruited to the worldwide effort in PD through this grant.